Welcome to a video of me going on a cruise to Norway to look at the fjords, and this is the balcony view on the port side, and we're looking out at sunny Southampton. So this is moments before it's leaving, so good to see all the lifeboats. We had to make sure that we avoided having a balcony looking out to those because we kind of wanted to see the fjords uninterrupted. And this is inside here, so as you can see this is the main lobby, and yeah, it looks pretty impressive. It was really a spectacle to see actually, and here we are just walking through on one of the levels right in the middle of the ship. Plenty going on, as you can see, people already settled in, and now this is the kind of behind the scenes event they put on. I think it was about the second or third day. And it's just something where you can go around and you can have a look and see what's going on behind the scenes of the ship. So you can see there's the bridge, and plenty of staff are out to help talk to you. So it's pretty cool. It's nice to be able to see all these videos, and there's some parts, bits and pieces. This was somebody here trying to match the time to make a bed as the porters managed to do, and but then you don't come on a ship to watch someone making a bed, so kind of moved on from here. This was quite an interesting video. So it's just good to see the scale of how big the ship is when you're on the water, especially in a smallish boat. But that thing is massive, the Britannia, as you can see. So quite good to see that actually. It's a nice video there of in the background. Some good videos to show that they do actually test the lifeboats. There were obviously no drills when we were on it, but it was just good to see that they do work. Haha. And yeah, it was quite busy actually. There was a lot of people here having a look around and asking questions. And it was good just to sit in the background and do some video there, as you can see. Some mooring ropes. And of course this is all bits and pieces you can't see being a passenger. You never get to see most of this. Good view from the bridge here, that was cool. So nice to see the technology, and I wonder how long the shift is for the guys looking out, because that must be pretty boring, just looking through binoculars at endless sea. That's a job that's got to be done, I guess. And yeah, this was funny. A massive ship, and look at the tiny steering wheel. Whee! Turn to starboard, and done. And then there's even more of a comical picture here of somebody using a little tiny joystick. So that's for auto steer. Can you see that? A couple of adjustments and off we go. A ship of that size, controlled by that joystick. Whenever we had captain's announcements, you can see there a bell. He used to ring that to announce himself. Oh, here we go. Here's the pilot, the harbour pilot coming in, and yeah, quickly there, back to engine room video. And as you can probably imagine, the engine room is huge. It would be really, really interesting to see behind the scenes yourself, having a tour. And initially I thought that's what it was when it was on our little itinerary, but it's, yeah, you only get to see it from the TV here, from the video. But that's what you expect. But a very impressive and very clean engine room, as you can see. Spotless, in fact, wasn't it, really? And they're rebuilding one of the engines here. So as you can see how big the cylinders are and just how big the engine is. And here's some pieces from the engine. And there's actually an injector here in a minute. So there you can see what they're holding there is an injector, where normally they're the size of a finger or so, but on a car the injectors here are just huge on this ship. Absolutely mammoth. and probably very expensive. Just a bit more of a close-up here, showing them servicing the engine. And then the other bit of the display was behind the scenes at the restaurants, so you know what food goes into things and what chefs do behind the scenes, which was cool. So definitely worth seeing, since you just turn up and have a little wander around. So here's one chef, and you can see he's got some serious talent here, being able to shape and create this display from fruit. I mean, I have enough problems just cutting a tomato in half, so to be able to do that and pull that off, that is impressive. I mean, you can just see already the displays he's done at the front there, so they're already created. And you would see these displays at the restaurant as well when you were eating, so they weren't just done there. And then back around again to the firefighting section, so just shows some equipment here about some of the engineering teams. And we now resume our walk around. So this is the shopping deck, where you can spend all your money. But it is impressive. I mean, it just looks like you're in a shopping complex, in a shopping mall.
Well, a very good afternoon. I do hope
he's captain.
tickety-boo and enjoying your day at sea so far, along with becoming accustomed to all beautiful Britannia has to offer. So as is the norm on our days at sea, I just wanted to take the time now to give you my little update on our progress so far, and also the plan for our arrival into...
So we had announcements like that every day, which was cool, sometimes twice a day, just to tell you what was going on, which was really good. And this again is the scale of us off the ship, and then back on again. This is just me having a little wander, when it was actually pretty empty up here. I think this was just shortly before tea time, dinner time, so people were busy getting ready and then heading off to restaurants, so I thought I'd just pop out and have a good chance to have a look at the ship without people sunbathing and wandering about. That was pretty cool. But this was the view most of the time, is just sea for miles and miles, so it kind of makes you feel quite alone, even though you're on a ship of 2,000, 3,000 people. So you can see the two pools there. I did go in and it was freezing, so I didn't stay in there for very long. This is the basketball kind of court, and there's a nice picture showing us underway. Bit of smoke. Also interesting to see is, well, there was some maintenance going on, so good to look at the signs there just to make sure you're not going to put your hand in anything sticky, wet varnish. And there was a little bit of a kind of a hot tub at the back. Pretty cool view there at the back. And this was right as high as you could go, I think, next to the radars. And then back down into the ship, and this is their main theatre, which was on 2 levels, so pretty impressive. We did take in a magician show here, so it was very good. And then this was the first morning that we came into the fjords, where when you wake up you actually see the fjords, which was cool. As you can see, it's very impressive. Very, very mind-blowing, really, to be able to sail a ship of this size up this strait with these fjords either side of you. And well, you can see we're going fairly slowly, so I mean it's a very tranquil arrival, and it does look amazing, doesn't it? We went in May, and as you can still see, there's snow on the top as well, so that just goes to show how high these things are, these mountainous areas. And this was one of the many arrivals here. The ship is just getting into position. And check that out as a view. Not many places you can go to where you can bring a ship in and park next to that. So, very impressive. And as you can see, this is just looking back down. So, tour buses there, look at the bottom, waiting for all the tourists to come off. We went on a small road train here and had a little trip around up to the lake and back around again. So we've got off the ship now, and as you can see, this is a good pan around just to see how big it was. Quite impressive to see how many balconies they've managed to squeeze onto this. And then when you think it takes thousands of people, that is quite a feat of engineering, isn't it? Another small town here, very picturesque as you can see. It was early in the morning where we'd arrived, but you know, things are already starting to pick up there. And it was nice because there's a mixture of kind of new and old buildings here, but the old buildings were immaculate. Funicular railway, and it was nice of the staff just to move aside there so I could poke my lens through and just see us going up. This was pretty cool. Fair way up. And again, it's quite scary how this thing stays on the track when it's going up at such a vertical angle. And you can see how quick it's going as well. So, pretty impressive. And this was the view from the top. So, awesome really, isn't it, to be able to see that. And you could just about see the cruise ship there in the background. And as we leave port again, it's quite awesome to look down on these fairly sizable crafts in their own right. One thing that we did notice was that people seemed to feed the seagulls when we're leaving as well, so we quite often had a flock of seagulls following us trying to catch food as people threw it out, as you can see there. And this was the harbour pilot leaving, I believe. Well, certainly the boat there, as you can see, coming in just to match the speed of Britannia, come alongside, basically open up a door, and this guy effectively jumps out. Well, he climbs down a ladder, of course, but so they had to just match the speed properly, come alongside, and then when he does eventually go in, it was quite interesting to learn that these guys, these harbour pilots, are employed just to bring these ships into the port, and that's their job because they know all about the currents and depths and the waterways. So in he goes, and then after only a few moments the ship will speed off back to port, and that's it. There goes the harbour pilot, and then the ship of course is under the captain's control again. So off it goes. So that was something I learned as well on the trip. I thought the captain would actually park the ship himself, but it doesn't happen. Or maybe it only happens on ports he knows very well. So that's it. End of the video. Cheers for watching. Hope it was interesting. Very good views, as you can see, so I recommend it. Bye bye for now.